urgent. The Chargers' behind-the-scenes atmosphere is heating up. The season opener already brought a major turnaround. A discredited player became a key player. A key defensive player suffered a potentially life-changing injury, and a surprising decision took everyone by surprise and shook up the team's offensive plans. I already have all the inside details on how each of these stories connect and the real impact they could have on the Chargers' immediate future. But before I reveal everything, if you're a Bolts fan and don't want to miss any exclusive news, like and subscribe to the channel, because today we have pure adrenaline, shock, and hope for what promises to be an unforgettable season. The narrative seemed already written, as if inevitable. Ladd McConkey, the new fan favorite, would be the star of the Chargers offense in the season opener against the Kansas City Chiefs. The stage was set for him to shine, but fate decided to play a trick and completely change the script. Quentyn Johnston took center stage. In his third year in the league, the wide receiver was simply unstoppable, displaying a maturity and presence on the field that many had previously doubted he possessed. He had 79 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and more important than the statistics, a confidence that infected not only the fans but also Justin Herbert himself. And these were no ordinary plays. Each of Johnston's receptions came at crucial moments, when the opposing defense was at its limit, when the offense seemed cornered. It was as if he had waited his entire life for this chance to show, against such a powerful rival, that he could be the decisive man. Herbert, after the game, didn't hide his satisfaction. He highlighted Johnston's speed, calmness, and especially his mental evolution in Jim Harbaugh's offensive system. The quarterback recalled how the wide receiver had worked hard in recent years, facing criticism and maintaining his determination. It's worth remembering that in 2023, Johnston only had 431 yards and ended up carrying the label of bust, a heavy mark for any young player. But in 2024, things began to change. He had 701 yards, 8 touchdowns, and clear signs of improvement. The big difference now is consistency. Against the Chiefs, the number one seemed to be Herbert's automatic escape hatch whenever the pocket collapsed, a safety valve that previously didn't exist. And the icing on the cake, the chemistry he displayed with McConkey. Together, they combined for 153 receiving yards, a rare sight recently for the Chargers. 2 wide receivers sharing the spotlight and providing more than one real option for the passing attack. Even so, Johnston still had to deal with the shadow of the new additions to the roster. During the offseason, the team brought in rookie Trey Harris in the 2025 draft and also brought back veteran Keenan Allen, who returned showing his reliability, leading the team in receptions in his debut. The pressure on Johnston was enormous, but he responded on the field, proving he's ready to be the official WR2, and in many situations, even WR1. Johnston has the chance to definitively transform a label of disappointment into one of the NFL's greatest recent overcoming stories. And while the offense gains reason to dream, the Chargers defense begins to deal with a problem that could significantly complicate the next chapters of the season. While the offense was dazzling and gave fans reason to believe in a promising season, the Chargers defense suffered a shock that changes the course of any plan. Denzel Perryman, a veteran pillar and one of the most respected voices in the locker room, suffered a sprained ankle during the win against the Chiefs and was out for weeks. Doctors predict he won't return until October, and this absence directly affects the backbone of the defensive line. After all, Perryman isn't just a physically impactful linebacker. He's the brains of the midfield, the player who reads the opposing team's plays, adjusts his teammates' positioning, and sets the tone for the front seven. Losing him at the start of the season is like losing a conductor in the middle of a symphony. Faced with this scenario, the front office and coaching staff had to act quickly to fill the void. The name chosen was surprising: Quentyn Mauga. Curious, isn't it? A few weeks earlier, he had been cut from the 53-man roster, but he was eventually brought back from the practice squad shortly after Perryman's injury was confirmed. This decision, however, is far from a simple improvisation. Mauga carries a rare asset. He knows the Raiders like few others. He spent 2 seasons in Las Vegas, spent time behind the scenes, participated in intense practices alongside big names like Max Crosby, and has closely assimilated the rivals' philosophy. In other words, he can bring inside information that will be invaluable in the Week 2 matchup, even without impressive defensive stats. After all, he's played very few defensive snaps in previous seasons. Mauga has a psychological edge that could make all the difference. It's like going into a test already knowing the questions. This familiarity could be decisive because the upcoming challenge is not small. The Chargers will face Geno Smith, a 2-time Pro Bowler, rookie running back Ashton Jeanty considered, a generational gem, and a revamped offensive system under a new coaching staff. Of course, the Chargers know that replacing Perryman's leadership is virtually impossible. However, with strategy, intelligence, and accurate use of the roster, they can at least offset some of this loss. Betting on Mauga is a calculated risk, but it could pay off handsomely. He can function as an undercover spy, capable of anticipating plays, suggesting adjustments, and even neutralizing offensive tendencies that only those who have lived within the organization know. And in American football, Boldness is often the difference between winning and losing. But as if the sudden change in defense wasn't enough, the Chargers' backroom staff had another surprise in store. While some are getting a chance to prove themselves, others are saying goodbye to the squad unexpectedly. And this is the next bombshell that has shaken everyone within the franchise. Few expected it, but now it's official. The Los Angeles Chargers have released wide receiver Jalen Reagor with an injury settlement. It's yet another twist in a career marked by ups and downs, which began with enormous promise and, so far, has left a trail of disappointment. Reagor was selected in the first round of the 2020 draft by the Philadelphia Eagles, with rising star status and a multi-million-dollar contract that included a hefty signing bonus. He was seen as a key player in transforming the franchise's offense, but he never lived up to the expectations that surrounded him from the start. Over the years, his career has evolved from opportunity to opportunity, but always with the same pattern: flashes of talent followed by severe inconsistency. After a frustrating stint with the Eagles, he was traded to the Minnesota Vikings, where he also failed to establish himself. Later, he had a brief stint with the New England Patriots and, finally, landed with the Chargers in search of another chance at redemption. However, history repeated itself. In 2024, he even gained playing time. He played 8 games and managed 110 yards in receptions, in addition to a single run that resulted in a loss of 1 yard. These were discrete numbers, which demonstrated effort, but insufficient to transform him into a key player in the offense. With the arrival of promising youngsters and consistent veterans, Reagor ended up falling behind in the competition for playing time. The decision to release him, therefore, seems inevitable from a strategic standpoint. For the Chargers, it's opening up a roster spot that can be filled by more productive players who truly deliver on the field. For Reagor, however, it's another wasted opportunity and perhaps the toughest of his career. The wide receiver, once a first-round pick, now faces the reality that he may no longer have a place in the NFL. This release also sends a clear message about Jim Harbaugh's work philosophy. The coach wants to build a roster based on meritocracy. Those who deliver, stay. Those who don't, leave. It's simple, direct, and even cruel, but it's Harbaugh's way of shaping the team in his image. Quentyn Johnston is the perfect example of this logic. From a bust in 2023 to a key player in the 2025 opener, Kanai Mauga also follows this path. From being released at the roster cut to a key player on defense against the Raiders, Reagor, unfortunately, couldn't keep up with this demand. And for Chargers fans, the expectation remains. Could this new cycle of sure bets and firm decisions finally lead the team to the top of the NFL? Leave your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because one thing is certain: the season has barely begun, but it's already full of drama, excitement, surprises, and above all, hope that the Bolts are this time on the right track.